I found an old photo of myself today. And instead of nostalgia, I felt something stranger. Distance. Not just because my face has changed, but because the person in that image believed different things, spoke differently, wanted different things. I still carry the same name. I still remember what that life felt like. And yet, something essential feels altered. When so much of us changes, what exactly stays? This question isn't new. It's ancient. Over 2,000 years ago, philosophers imagined a ship, the Ship of Theseus. As its wooden planks rotted, they were replaced one by one, slowly, carefully, each change small enough to feel harmless, until one day, none of the original pieces remained. Is it still the same ship? Centuries later, the philosopher Thomas Hobbes complicated the story. He asked us to imagine that every original plank was saved, stored in a warehouse, and when the ship was fully replaced, those old pieces were reassembled into a second ship. Now there are two. One ship has continuity. It never stopped sailing. The other has authenticity. It's made of the original material. Which one is real? Most of us feel an answer forming, but it's rarely stable, because we run into this problem in everyday life. Think of an antique car. Over decades, parts wear out. The engine is rebuilt. Panels are replaced. The suspension is modernized. The car keeps running. The owner keeps the title. Emotionally and legally, it feels like the same vehicle. But in a garage somewhere, the original engine block sits on a shelf. Rusted panels lean against a wall, and if someone were to reassemble every original part into another car, which one would collectors call authentic? The one that never stopped being driven, or the one made of original steel? We sense the tension now. Continuity versus substance. History versus material. But ships and cars are still safe. They don't look back at us. So let's remove the distance. Imagine this happening to a human being. Over time, my body is replaced. Not all at once. Gradually. A hand, then a leg, an artificial heart, synthetic organs, even the brain. Neurons are replaced one by one. Each change preserves memory, personality, and awareness. At no moment do I lose consciousness. I wake up every day believing I am still me. The process never breaks the story, but somewhere else, every original part is saved, preserved, cataloged. And when the final replacement is complete, those original parts are assembled into another body, another version of me. Now there are two me. One has uninterrupted consciousness, but none of the original body. The other has the original body, but a newly awakened existence. Which one is me? If identity belongs to matter, then the rebuilt body is the real one. If identity belongs to continuity, then the conscious version never stopped being me. But they cannot both be me. And yet, both feel convincing. This is where the question becomes uncomfortable. Because if identity can split, if two versions of the same person can each claim legitimacy, then maybe the self is not a fixed object at all. Maybe it's a process. Something that survives replacement as long as it isn't interrupted. A pattern that continues even as the pieces change. A story that feels stable only because it's told without stopping. But here's the twist. What happens when the story does break? Consider a person with dementia, or someone who survives a traumatic brain injury. They may lose memories that once defined them. Names, faces, entire chapters of their life. The narrative they carried quietly for decades begins to fracture. They wake up without access to the past that once anchored them. Are they still the same person? Legally, we say yes. Biologically, we say yes. But emotionally, the answer becomes uncertain. If identity depends on memory, then something essential has been lost. If it depends on personality, we watch it change. If it depends on continuity, the thread has been weakened or severed. And yet, we don't say that person disappeared. We don't say someone else has taken their place. We recognize them. We care for them. We grieve them, sometimes while they're still alive. This might explain something we all feel, but rarely articulate. Why personal change can feel unsettling, even when it's positive. Why looking at old photos can feel like meeting someone familiar, but distant. Why growth sometimes feels like loss. Because we aren't afraid of change itself. We're afraid of breaking continuity. And that photo I found today, it isn't proof that I've become someone else. It's proof that identity doesn't require permanence. Only connection. So, when you look back at an older version of yourself, do you feel like you're looking at someone who no longer exists? Or someone who never fully disappeared? Tell me in the comments below. If you found this reflection meaningful, consider subscribing for more quiet explorations like this. Thank you for watching Quiet Reflections. I hope to see you in the next one.